Looks like Miguel Almiron is staying at Newcastle for now, but will Marc Guehi be joining them? Before we get into today's video, head over to themagpiechannel.com and get yourself an absolute bargain. I've got the t-shirts on sale right now. Summer sale, £9.99 for the Magpie Channel t-shirt. There you go. What a steal that is. We'll be getting another stock back in, so I know loads of people have been asking about the hats and the hoodies and stuff. It's hot outside. It's t-shirt weather. 20 odd degrees, people. Themagpiechannel.com. £9.99 t-shirts on sale now. Hello everyone, welcome to the Magpie Channel TV. Some more transfer news for you lot today off the back of the news a couple of days ago of Miguel Almiron being in talks with Charlotte FC of the MLS. Their executives flew into London, had a deal on the table for Newcastle with Miguel Almiron to try and bring him back to the States, but that deal has collapsed and is now completely off. Off, done, dusted. Not happening that one. Nope, not doing it. Apparently, the valuation gap was too high. It's a bit of a similar theme between the Newcastle and Crystal Palace Marc Guehi valuation gap that we'll get into later in the video. But focusing on the Paraguayan winger, it's understood that Charlotte's offer was around 10 million, maybe even a little bit less than that. When you 8.5 million got rejected by Newcastle the other day, Charlotte were looking to go around to 10 million mark at a push, whereas Newcastle wanted to double that. They value Almiron at around 20 million. It is thought that around 15 million might have been a good compromise. 12 to 15 at a push could have been enough to see Newcastle sell Almiron, but that wasn't happening. Couldn't get it done. And the MLS window closes today, tonight, whenever it is, very, very soon, unlike the English one that's got 2-3 weeks left. So Charlotte and Newcastle couldn't make a deal happen, unfortunately, even though player terms were agreed. So Miggy was happy to go to Charlotte, happy to go back to America, but we just couldn't get a deal done on the fee. Listen, if it's 9-10 million that Charlotte offering, and we're apparently wanting closer to 20 million, there is obviously a big gap there. And listen, I wouldn't mind selling Almiron. Obviously, I've made my feelings clear on that. I think we do need to upgrade that right wing department. So if Miggy was to go, I'd be fine with that. He's been a good servant for the club, scored some important goals. He was very good in that season in the build-up to the Champions League qualification, but 6 assists in 6 years as a winger. We know his work rate's there. The assists and the goals aren't, unless it's a purple patch. If we want to try and get in the top 4 again and stay in amongst there, it is obviously an identification in a position that we need. We know that. The club know that as well. The club want a right winger and a centre-back this summer for those reasons. So selling them would be fine by me. Obviously, the Saudi Pro League, Al-Shabaab win for him last January. They had a bid accepted of around 30 million. Almiron doesn't want to move to Saudi, so that one's not happening. He wouldn't mind moving back to America, but these teams like Charlotte and the MLS, they haven't got huge finances. I think their record signing's a few million quid. So they don't really spend much on transfers. So unfortunately, a deal can't be done. That is now collapsed. That is now off. So Almiron, as it stands, is staying at Newcastle. Which again, this is halting us from doing any business, because we need to sell players. We need to raise some funds, PSR and all that sort of stuff. You know what it is, time and time again. Financial fair play. That's why we had to sell St. Maximin, to bring in Harvey Barnes. And in this summer, obviously we haven't done anything to strengthen that starting 11. Lloyd Kelly is the closest player to impact now our starting 11. And he was a free. You've got 2 keepers, Odysseas and Ruddy. And you've got William Asula, who hasn't scored a Premier League goal before, who cost about 10 to 15 million. Although, again, he's third choice, he's young, great, Eddie Howe can get the best out of him, all of that, right? But we need to strengthen the starting 11. We know that. We're trying at the minute with Guehi. We want to try with the right winger, but with Almiron staying, not getting him off the books, not getting some money in for him, it's really affecting our chances of doing that. It may mean that we still can, if Almiron stays, go for a Madueke with a loan to buy sort of thing from Chelsea. But as it stands, Almiron stays, not much money coming in, makes life difficult. And on the other end of that, all our money at the moment is focused on Marc Guehi. In Palace wanting 65, Newcastle thinking he's worth 50-55 million tops. In that gap in valuation, obviously we've seen Steve Parish come out yesterday, touching this on the podcast last night, but for you that haven't watched it and haven't seen it maybe, Steve Parish, Crystal Palace's co-owner and chairman, said that no one is anywhere near the valuation that they think Marc Guehi has. He says if you want a superstar, you have to pay superstar money. Marc Guehi is a generational talent, and they would love to keep him at the club and don't need to sell him. So, generational talent, bit of a push that one, isn't it? Never really heard Marc Guehi in the same bracket as Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. So that's a stretch. Wouldn't expect anything else from Steve Parish, to be honest with you. And this is just him trying to grab a few million extra. It really is. If Newcastle stuck on 55 million, not budging, Palace want that 65 million. He's just putting it out there, letting everyone know, well, we don't need to sell him. We're fine to keep him. You know what I mean? He's our captain. He's great. He's the best generational talent. You know what I mean? So if you want him, stump up the cash for him. That's what Parish is doing, trying to get a bit more. He knows he's kind of going to lose him. You know, that's bound to happen. Guehi wants to move. But Newcastle still have to pay the money, so it's not definitely going to happen unless we do that. But that's Steve Parish's warning, saying, listen, you're going to have to pay up for him. You're going to have to pay up for him. Will Newcastle reach that? I still think, I'm still confident of a Guehi deal getting done, unless something else is on the works in the background where reports have said, you know, we are still in talks with other targets. You know, Malik Chow was linked throughout the window, even Tomori's AC Milan partner. Obviously, Tadibo was another one who is now went to West Ham. So I can get it. And again, it's getting to this point where I've been telling people to be patient, and people, especially on Twitter and stuff, are freaking out because the season starts in a few days and we haven't signed anyone who can start in the 11 and improve us straight away. And we're getting close to that now, that it's Wednesday. We're just a few days away and we're getting so close to it. So it is getting a bit scary. I understand that. The Guehi deal been going on now for nearly 2 weeks, so it was never going to be an easy deal to get done because of the price tag, because of the English tax, because of all of that, and very much more. But I'm still hopeful that we can get it done this week. But with Parish coming out with comments like that, at the beginning of hearing those, it was like, oh, that doesn't sound good, does it? But again, I believe it's just him trying to get a few extra quid, a few million extra, not just, you know, £4.50. And he just putting it out there that they're not going to be easy to deal with, easy to sell. I mean, Parish is another, like, Ashley, really, isn't he? That type of owner. So I wouldn't have expected anything else from him. But Parish coming out with some mad comments there, saying his generational talent and all that. I really, really rate Marc Guehi. I think he's a quality defender. England international, one of the best at the Euros. But he's not, like, perfect. He isn't perfect still. He's still, what is he, 24? He still can work on a couple of things. We've seen a couple of errors in his game. So his judgment sometimes is lapse in that. He's not as bloody world class as Steve Parish is making out. You know what I mean? There is still slight tweaks to his game needed, which I'm sure Eddie Howe will get the best out of. And then he might make him into a generational talent. And even then, generational talent as a centre-back? I don't know about that. Bit wild from Parish. But the Guehi stuff, it's still ongoing. Still talking to each other, the clubs behind the scenes, trying to thrash out a deal. Hopefully we can get that one done and Marc Guehi come to Newcastle. I think that will give everyone a massive lift, a welcome boost after what has definitely been a frustrating, difficult summer with loads of stuff going on behind the scenes, with the hierarchy changing, Ashworth finally leaving, Staveley and Gadusi going, Mitchell Bunce coming in. It's been mad, hasn't it? It has been a whirlwind of a summer, and we are getting nearer to that deadline without really strengthening, even though we're saying about 5 players or something. Like I said, we need people that come straight into that starting 11 and improve us. And listen, I'm still confident heading into the new season. We did our Premier League predictions last night on the channel. I'll be doing another little touch on that in the Southampton preview on Friday. I still think we can go for top 4 if we keep everyone fit without being in Europe. And then if we add a Guehi and a right winger, then I think we're laughing. But at the minute, let's hope things change throughout the day. Listen, it's only 11 a.m. at the minute, so this afternoon we might hear some good news on Guehi, or might hear, listen, we've moved on to such and such, and now that centre-back's coming for a medical. Who knows? Do you know what I mean? And hopefully someone else might come in for Almiron. I know his agent's been pushing him around the Premier League, but he doesn't really want that. Nobody wants him, shall I say. So his agent's like, anyone in the Premier League want? Nobody wants him. Nobody. So it's looking like America, or maybe he would be happy to go back to South America, but he doesn't want to go to the only place that does want him, and that's Saudi Arabia. So Miggy, I think, you know, at the minute, it's looking like he's just going to see his contract out until 2026 and then probably going back to the MLS on a free. And I can't really blame him for that, to be honest. I'm not here to blame him. He's got a nice life here in Newcastle. His kids are here, his wife, you know, they've been here for, what, 6 years now, 5-6 years. And he's settled. Fair play to him. I mean, you kind of force a player out, really. It's a shame because we need him to go to get a bit of funds to strengthen. But if he wants to stay, is what it is. We're going to have to try and work something out. Hopefully some more positive incomings and outgoings. Transfer news. in the last couple of weeks of the window would be lovely. So stay tuned. I'll bring you if it happens. Smash the like button, people. Drop your thoughts below. Subscribe to the channel. Enjoy yourself.